If you're anything like me, you've probably found yourself thinking about the Dutton family far more than you'd like to admit. The Yellowstone universe has a way of pulling you in, through heart-wrenching stories, compelling characters, and brutal depictions of American history that feel both timeless and urgent. With the recent conclusion of 1923, we've wrapped yet another chapter in the Dutton saga, one filled with heartbreak, resilience, and generational pain. And now, all eyes are on the horizon, toward the highly anticipated new prequel series, 1944. This next entry promises to usher in an entirely new era in the Dutton legacy, one that may answer long-standing questions and deepen the mythos even further. Though details remain limited, early rumors and insider hints suggest that 1944 may be the most ambitious Yellowstone project yet, one that not only continues the family's story but also expands it in powerful historical ways. Before we dive into everything we know and everything we're speculating about, let's take a moment to appreciate just how far the Duttons have come and just how much it's cost them. As many of you already know, the Yellowstone journey began with 1883. That series introduced us to the earliest known generation of the Dutton family, tough, weary pioneers risking everything for a better future. We watched James and Margaret Dutton cross the country, enduring unspeakable loss and hardship, until they finally settled in Montana. This was no ordinary frontier story. It was a brutal odyssey that made one thing painfully clear. Owning this land would cost the Duttons everything. That theme, the sacrifice required to keep the land, has echoed through every generation since. Then came 1923, a prequel that showed us the next great struggle in the family's history. We met Jacob and Kara Dutton, played brilliantly by Harrison, Ford and Helen Mirren, who fought tooth and nail to preserve their ranch amidst new threats, economic collapse, industrialization, devastating droughts, and political corruption. The challenges were modernizing, but the story remained the same. This was still a family willing to fight and die to protect what's theirs. Over the course of 2 seasons, we witnessed the family experience profound trauma. Spencer Dutton, scarred by war and loss, found love in Alex, and embarked on a treacherous journey back to his family. Meanwhile, Alex gave birth to a baby boy, only to tragically pass away shortly after. That child, referred to as John, was positioned as the next possible heir to the Dutton legacy. But in a shocking twist, it was revealed that Elizabeth, another member of the family, was also pregnant, raising the question, who is the real John Dutton II? This confusion has thrown fans into a spiral of speculation. Could Alex's son be the father of Kevin Costner's John Dutton? Or is Elizabeth's child the real ancestor? Brandon Sklenar, who portrays Spencer, has hinted that his character's son is likely the future patriarch, but nothing is confirmed yet. This ambiguity has left fans both frustrated and intrigued. The Dutton family tree, much like their land, is full of mystery and hidden roots. But for once, 1944 might be the series that brings all the pieces together. So what can we expect from 1944? First, let's consider the historical setting. The year 1944 sits right in the heart of World War II, a global conflict that transformed life in America, and particularly in rural states like Montana. This wasn't just a war fought overseas. It redefined American identity, family structures, gender roles, and the economy. In Montana, many men were drafted or volunteered to fight. Women stepped into roles they'd never held before, running farms, managing ranches, and sustaining entire towns on their own. It was a time of resilience, but also deep uncertainty. Many never returned home, and those who did came back changed. They worry. Land, which once symbolized opportunity, began to feel like a prison for those left behind. Small towns shrank, economic pressures mounted, family bonds were tested, and in true Yellowstone fashion, it's the perfect storm for drama, one that Taylor Sheridan seems uniquely equipped to explore. Of course, many fans are, understandably, nervous about whether 1944 will even happen. The series has been officially announced, but Taylor Sheridan has been unusually quiet. And considering how many projects he's juggling, it's not surprising. Sheridan is currently managing Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone, mayor of Kingstown, Landman, a new crime procedural starring Luke Grimes, Case Dutton, the Madison with Michelle Pfeiffer and the long-awaited Beth and Rip spinoff. Add to that the already delayed 6666 series and whispers of other spinoffs, and you begin to see just how full Sheridan's plate really is. Not to mention, Paramount itself is undergoing massive changes, including potential buyouts by Skydance, and major budget cutbacks. Projects are being delayed, shelved, or restructured. In this climate, it's easy to imagine 1944 getting lost in development limbo. And yet, the sheer interest and fan demand may be enough to keep it alive. Assuming the show does move forward, what could we expect in terms of characters? At the top of the wish list is John Dutton Sr, the mysterious figure who would eventually father Kevin Costner's John Dutton III. Whether he's the son of Alex or Elizabeth doesn't matter to many fans. We just want to finally meet him and see how he grew into the man who would shape the modern Dutton legacy. Brandon Sklenar has expressed interest in returning as Spencer, which opens up emotional possibilities. Imagine an older Spencer mentoring his son through a time of war and change, haunted by his past, but determined to give his child a better life. It's a narrative rich in emotional weight, full of potential for some of the most powerful scenes in the franchise. Of course, there's the question of casting. Sklenar himself is likely too young to portray an older Spencer in this timeline, especially since he couldn't even play the 1969 version in 1923. That brings us to fan-favorite casting speculation: Kurt Russell. Russell has the rugged looks, the presence, and the acting legacy to fit perfectly into the Yellowstone world. He could easily play a grizzled, emotionally complex Spencer Dutton, one who has seen too much but still fights to hold his family together. And what about Harrison Ford or Helen Mirren? By 1944, Jacob and Kara Dutton would be close to 100 years old, if still alive. But Ford has said in a recent interview that he'd be open to returning, as his character hasn't been definitively killed off. Seeing 3 generations of Duttons, Jacob, Spencer, and John, all sharing screen time would be legendary. As for the plot, fan theories abound. One particularly intriguing idea is that 1944 will center around a family rift. What if John Dutton, too, comes home from the war only to find that someone, perhaps a cousin or rival sibling, is trying to seize control of the ranch? What if Alex's son and Elizabeth's son are at odds, each believing they are the rightful heir? That kind of inner-family conflict would be gripping to watch and could explain some of the secrecy and tension that echoes in the modern Yellowstone timeline. Ultimately, 1944 could be the turning point in the Dutton saga, a story where past meets future, where legacies are decided, and where the true cost of the land becomes unavoidable. Now, looking at the broader schedule, 1944 likely won't debut until spring 2026. In 2025, we're getting the much-anticipated Beth and Rip spin-off, as well as the Madison. Then, in early 2026, Case's spin-off is expected to premiere. All this suggests 1944 will be pushed back, but hopefully not forgotten. Yes, it's a long wait. But if 1883 and 1923 have taught us anything, it's that the wait is usually worth it. So, are you excited to meet John Dutton's father at last? Do you want to see Kurt Russell as Spencer? Or perhaps witness a family civil war over the Yellowstone Ranch? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to follow for weekly updates on the Yellowstone universe. Meanwhile, check out the video on the screen. It just might answer a few more of your burning Dutton questions.